Hello and welcome back, YouTubers. Matsuyorific here, and I need to apologize for not having a video out to you last week. I've just finished moving, still got some unpacking to do, but I've got everything over from the old apartment to the new apartment. But sadly, as of making this video, I have been having some huge headaches trying to get my internet working. As much as I would have loved to get a video out sometime between moving in on Thursday and the deadline on Sunday, I was not able to get the internet working. So, as of this video going up, my internet is finally back up, but as of making this video, I am still without internet. And let me tell you, it has been a huge, huge headache. But I do plan on having it back sometime on Tuesday, so this video should be going up sometime on Tuesday. Unless, of course, heaven forbid, something happens to keep my internet from coming back on Tuesday, in which case it will be uploaded as soon as I can. Again, I am very sorry for the wait. Hopefully I'll be able to get 2 videos out, but if not, then in the first week that the internet goes up, then at least in the second week. So, again, I apologize. So, today we are going to be doing a new video series that I would like to start. I'm starting a lot of series right now. But this one is going to be breaking down the different designs that I have for my characters and explaining them in detail and just different things about them that I try to keep in mind for when I'm creating my character designs. And I wanted to do this for 2 reasons. Well, actually a couple of different reasons. One, I wanted to explain to you guys how the process works for me when I'm creating my characters and all of the stuff that goes into my each individual characters. This is also a bit for me, so that I can go back and look like, oh, hey, why am I doing this character like this again? Maybe I should change it up like this. But this is also sort of for anyone new to creating OCs who maybe needs a little bit of advice, wants to take a look at other characters, but can only find the generic, skinny girl type of characters with big bust, or, the generic handsome boy character. So, it's also for them, but it's also mainly for me. But, I still wanted to share this process with you guys. So today we are going to be looking at my favorite of my OCs, and she is also one of the first OCs that I ever created. She was originally created for my old Cardcaptor Sakura fanfiction, and let's reveal her. We are going to be looking at Hanna today. Now, I'm going to be breaking this down a couple different ways. We're going to be looking at her hairstyle, her face shape, her body shape, and various other little design details that I'd like to make note of. So we're going to start off with her hair. And as you can see, her hair, if you've ever seen Cardcaptor Sakura, you might recognize this hairstyle a little. Since Hanna was originally conceived as the daughter of Sakura and Shaoran from Cardcaptor Sakura, her hairstyle is mainly inspired, her design in total is mainly inspired by Sakura and Shaoran, and her hairstyle is mainly inspired by Sakura's. Now, if you look at this picture that I've done before of Sakura, you can see that they have pretty similar hairstyles, except that I didn't give Hanna this little part up here that Sakura always has that sticks up. And that's mainly because that little hairstyle choice is it tends to be used as to show that the character is a little ditzy and childish, and which, Sakura is a little bit. And since Hanna is a much more serious character, and I didn't want her hairstyle to be completely like Sakura's either, I decided not to give her those little 2 tufts. And even in the very oldest of her artwork, she doesn't have those 2 little tufts of hair. You can also see that she doesn't have Sakura's green eyes. In fact, she's got Shaoran's brown eyes. And her hair is also a little bit darker due to the fact that Sakura and Shaoran have different colored but still brown hair. So if I select that color and put that on, Hanna's hair, you can see that it is a slight shade darker. Which again, I wanted her hair to be different from Sakura's, while still keeping her initial motif, or not motif, I guess muse. I could say Sakura was my muse for creating Hanna. Hanna also almost always has this real short hairstyle, which again she originally got from Sakura, but it's also partially due to her personality. You know, she's a tomboy and she's into martial arts, and she quite often gets herself into fights, and having long hair can be a burden when it comes to that. She's also not really the most feminine of girls, so she doesn't really like to have to worry about doing anything with it. So this short hairstyle is good for her so that she doesn't really have to do anything other than just brush it out and then she's done. Which is also something that's is inspired by my lifestyle, because I do the same thing with my hair. I like my hair a little bit longer, but I don't usually like to do much with my hair, so I just brush it out, and that was the inspiration for Hanna. And although sometimes in certain fics she does have longer hair depending on certain situations, usually it's something happening in her past or a person that she's met. And when she does have longer hair, it's still somewhat short in the back with a little bit of length, front. And then most of the length is usually in the back, but she always keeps it up in a ponytail to sort of keep it out of her way. In Journey of the Heart, for example, she has longer hair inspired by her adoptive father, Yoshimura, who convinced her to grow it out because his concern was that she wasn't developing properly, and he wanted her to have that little bit of femininity. So even after he passed, she keeps it long in remembrance of him. But for the most part, unless she has something like that causes her to decide to grow her hair out, she usually keeps it short. As far as her face shape goes, we're going to move on to that next. She's got the same small nose that Sakura has. Her face shape is not quite as rounded as Sakura's is. Obviously, this picture shows Sakura as a 10-year-old, and for this I drew Hanna as a young adult, but I still imagine Sakura would probably have a rounder face as an adult, and Hanna's is just slightly less rounded. Again, to help distinguish her from Sakura. Not really too much to talk about there. Again, I mentioned the eyes. She got those. Her amber eyes come from Shaoran, partially to show that she was originally supposed to be his daughter, and also to separate her from Sakura. Moving on to her body, as you can see, she is a lot more muscular than most anime-style girls, or even just girls in general. You can see that she's got definite muscle definition, and that is, again, because she's into martial arts, she into self-defense, and you really don't want to mess with her. So I wanted to show that in her design, especially because muscular girls aren't really shown a lot in today's animation and basically just any kind of art. They're just not really shown as muscular. Most women are shown to be petite, and that's not really very realistic. Women come in various body shapes, and I really want to show that with my characters, which of course you could probably also notice that with all of my characters, not just Hanna, the waist is nowhere near as skinny. It's not quite so much of an hourglass shape as most animated characters, which again is something that I'm trying to show with all of my characters, but again you can really see her muscle definition as well. And that's something that's very important to me with her, because I really want her to be a strong female character, while actually not just on the inside but also on the outside. That's very important to me when it comes to her. As far as this is partially with her body as well, but it's also something specific that I wanted to make note of is her bust. A lot of athletic, strong female characters, unless it's a series where all female characters are being sexualized, aren't usually depicted as being very busty, mainly because, you know, a large bust isn't really very convenient for a girl who's athletic. So since I really like breaking stereotypes with my characters, I did give her a bit more of a bust, especially since she's not the type of character to really show off her sex appeal. She's a lot more modest than even some of my other characters. So I felt that giving her this would give her a little bit of extra modesty, since she doesn't show off this part of her, even though she very well could. She just doesn't really, she's never really been interested in sex appeal or anything like that. But at the same time, since she is very athletic, she, for the most part, wears a sports bra to sort of keep that in check as well, so that it's not giving her as much trouble. Since she is a lot more physically fit than most girls, it doesn't, the weight doesn't bother her as much, but she still likes to keep them together so that they don't get in the way of her doing anything. And this causes them to look a lot smaller. I actually got this idea when I had to wear one a while back, and I noticed that it did the same thing for me, and now I wear one whenever I am cosplaying as either a male character or a child character, to give my body the illusion of, you know, not having that there at all, or at least not as much of it. So I wanted to incorporate that into her, and that was actually part of the inspiration for her having a larger bust, was to give her even more of a reason to wear the sports bra. That and in a lot of my older artwork of her, she does have, you can definitely see that she has a bust, so I wanted to incorporate that to sort of, I guess, I can't think of the word, explain why that was in the past. I can't remember the word. I'm sorry. I don't have internet right now, so I can't look it up. But yeah, just to sort of explain why you can still see them. So yeah, enough about her boobs. Let's move on. So I also want to talk about her mermaid form. As a mermaid, I can't really see her wearing a sports bra, to be honest, to be perfectly honest with you, just because I can't really imagine them having sports bras underwater. So she's not really, so as a mermaid, she doesn't really have that restriction. She does have a little bit when she's wearing her armor. I didn't really feel like drawing it, but I gave her a blue tail mainly because, you know, that's the color that I've always used to represent her. Um, Normally, in Journey of the Heart, she's either seen in her armor or just a really basic top. This isn't the top that she has. I actually haven't really come up with a permanent design yet for her mermaid top. Just because I usually do have her in her armor either for non-Kyoku or Akua. But I can't really imagine any reason why mermaids would have sports bras, especially since I don't really see them having boobs as sexualized as humans do. Because, you know, underwater it's very different. Different culture, even on land in the real world, different cultures see boobs differently. So, I just have her with a normal. In fact, I don't even see them using bras the same way that we do. There are actually some cultures that where women don't wear bras and where boobs are just. I'm talking about her boobs a lot again, where boobs aren't really seen as a sexual thing, which is good because they're not. But I imagine the same thing would be true in underwater, and but they are still they would still be covered up, especially since, you know, this I want Journey of the Heart to be for pretty much all ages. Maybe not for really young audiences, even though a lot of the stuff would go over their head, but still, I want my stories to be pretty much for everyone. So yeah, tops are mandatory for mermaids, but I see them as more of a choice. You know, not really something that they have to wear due for society, but rather that it's just sort of very common for mermaids to be like, yeah, I want to dress up, I want to look nice. So it would still, I still imagine that it would be like a social norm for mermaids to have a top on, but I can't see it being like as severe as it would be on land, in the real world for a mermaid not to wear anything. But normally she does wear her armor. Her top will definitely have to be something that suits her. Something that doesn't show off a lot of it. Definitely want to have some kind of modesty. Probably not even showing off a whole lot of her stomach. I mean, I might show off some of it, but not like this. She's definitely going to be a lot more modest as a mermaid as well than most other mermaids. So I guess that's about it for Hanna. So after body style, we're going to talk about her clothing choices. And for some reason, I've lost my toolbox. There it goes. So we've got a couple different. I've got a couple different things to show you. First off, I'm going to show her school uniform. She tends to wear. She doesn't really wear a lot of skirts. So even though she, so even when she's wearing a school uniform, she usually wears the pants instead of a skirt. Again, it's for so that it's for her fighting style. If she ever finds herself in trouble, she can defend herself. She doesn't like to wear a lot of constricting clothes. Obviously, she can't do a whole lot about her uniform, but a skirt is very constricting when when you need to defend yourself in a pinch, because then you're worrying about anyone seeing underneath and taking a peek at your underwear. So she doesn't like having to worry about that, so she prefers pants over skirts. She really, really doesn't wear a lot of skirts. Unless, of course, she's forced into it. Same for dresses. And when I say forced, I mean she has to be forced into this stuff. She is if she has to wear a dress or a skirt, she is not a happy camper. I can assure you of that. Of course, there are some exceptions, like for special events where she pretty much has to dress up nice. You know, she will. She won't be too crazy about it. She'll definitely complain, but she'll do it. And of course, as you can see, this is another good example of how her bust looks in clothing. The shirt is kind of tight on her. Yeah, it is a little loose because I imagine she'd probably have like a size up or something so that it's a bit loose and easier to move around in. That or she'd have Tomoyo tailor it or something. But you can still see that she does have something going on up there, but she does look a little bit more flat with the sports bra on. Oh, I guess I should also show you how she looks with a regular bra on. So this is how she would look with a regular bra, and as you can see, there is definitely a lot more going on than with the sports bra, which again is why she wears the sports bra, so that this isn't going all over the place. So back to the clothing choices. I guess that's really about all there is to say about uniforms and stuff like that. So we'll go on and show off one of her battle costumes. And again, this is from Cardcaptor Chronicles. Normally she doesn't wear a whole lot of accessories as they're a bit too much of a hassle for her, but quite often if she has to wear a costume or something, or just is given something to wear by someone else, she'll sometimes have accessories to go along with them, like these belts over here. I really enjoy this costume because it also kind of looks like something that she would wear normally too, and not just as a costume. The shirt is, of course, very loose so that she can move around in it. She wouldn't normally wear something quite so loose, but that's why there's a belt around her waist so that it keeps it from being a little too loose. And of course she's got these shorts on. They're not too short. She doesn't wear a whole lot of short shorts unless it's like really, really hot outside. But she prefers hot over cold anyway, so she doesn't really wear a whole lot of short shorts. I mean, there was a design that I had for a Tsubasa thick, but other than that, she doesn't wear a whole lot of really short shorts. She usually wears sneakers or sometimes boots, but usually sneakers. She never wears really high heels because, again, they're not easy to move around in. You can't really run in them. And for Hanna, functionality is a lot more important to her. So she doesn't wear a whole lot of heels, again, unless she absolutely has to. And of course, you know, she's wearing another shirt underneath of this for a little bit of extra modesty. I don't think I originally designed this costume with an undershirt underneath of it, but after thinking about it, I realized, well, she's going to be wearing a sports bra. If she's got something that's exposing her shoulder like that, she's going to need something to hide the bra because modesty. So I added that in. That's about it. She doesn't, she doesn't wear clothes that really give room for a strap slip either. I'm talking about her chest a lot, aren't I? That's really about it. About all I had to say about her. Oh, I guess another thing I could say about her clothing choices is that she usually wears pretty simple designs, usually just a t-shirt and pants. She doesn't really layer a whole lot, and again, she doesn't really accessorize because it's usually a bit too much of a hassle for her, and really something's got to be picked out for her in order for her to put a whole lot of effort into it. But I guess I'm going to go ahead and end it there. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments about her design, feel free to leave them down below. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one.